Rick Claggett, ladies and gentlemen, from the tote board at Watermark, actually in his house right now. Hi, Rick. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
We're just too good for words. Ladies and gentlemen, when we started to set this up, we realized we needed a way to collect funds. We went to Rick because he had a website. He had a for collecting money. He had a way for us to collect the applications for assistance in the whole 9 yards. He jumped in double barrel and has been with us ever since, much to his dismay. But what I want to ask first and foremost, Rick, is what is that painting behind you?
Oh, this painting, it's two kissing fish, I think. I don't know if that was the original intent of the artist or not. But a lot of people are familiar with my roommate, Jen Kunch, that I live with here in Orlando. Well, this is a painting that was done by her uncle, Louis Kunch, who was an artist in New York. He was estranged from his family because he was gay. They weren't very accepting of that. So Jen, ironically, one of the biggest fruit flies I've ever met, she didn't really get to know him very well. But when he passed away, she and her sister were the only two living relatives. So they stood to inherit a good chunk of change from him, which went to purchasing this house that I'm sitting in. So in his honor, and because we would love to have known him, we hang all of his paintings. He's got our living room's full of a bunch of watercolors of his. But this room in particular is full of what must have been the later years of when things got really crazy, because there's just some really crazy paintings around in this room.
And weren't you watching? Don't you have a story about watching some sort of a national telecast of the show? Something you
There was. It's kind of funny. We got a phone call and we're like, "Oh my God, you've got to watch $1 Million Listings. I think your uncle's paintings are on there." So what we did is we all went to New York to clean out his studio, and we're talking like tens of thousands of paintings, and we picked out the ones that we liked the most, or we thought we'd like to keep, and the rest were just bought by somebody wholesale. And it turns out it was a realtor from $1 Million Listings, a TV show. I don't even know what network it's on, but yeah, the guy had it was selling an apartment in New York, and he had covered it with all of these paintings from Louis Kunch, and he was saying, "I need you to sell the paintings when you sell the house." And he was interested in the house, but nobody wanted the paintings.
Nobody wanted the painting. Oh Lord, this may lead to you could maybe have a fringe show at your house where people go through and tour the paintings.
That I'm writing that down. I have always wanted to have a fringe show, and that is a really great way to do it.
That's a great one.
You know, Al Bergante offered up his pool one year, and Voce Dance did an aquacade in his backyard for a fringe show.
Yeah, get Ross to be the curator.
Yeah. So what's the deal with Watermark? How has this pandemic impacted the paper?
Well, we're open still today, so that's a good sign. Like a lot of businesses are suffering right now, and Watermark's really no different from that. Even though we're a corporation, it's just owned by me. We're a community-based business, is what I like to say. And when the community is suffering, so are we. Absolutely. And it's been a series of ups and downs. I haven't really shared this information with anybody really, but we've had to cancel magazine productions that we typically do, like our wedding guide didn't come out. We had a couple of new ones that we were going to do that we've had to postpone just because we're losing distribution spots, and a lot of companies that can't afford their advertising have pulled out. So we lost a great deal of money, and we had to lay off a huge part of our staff. Fortunately, that layoff only lasted about 36 hours when the payroll protection program finally came through for us. So that was pretty amazing. We were able to get everybody back, and we're trucking along and doing great, for now, while that program is in existence. But certainly, it could be a huge benefit to us if people who are watching would check us out online, flip through. We do we still are doing in some locations, and a lot of them really, but if you can't get out safely to get a copy of the paper, we post a flip through online. So please just check it out. Look at the advertisers who are in there. That's the only way that we're able to report in the stories that are going on in our community. And so please support those businesses.
So the first part of that URL before the / watermarkonline.com, and they can access actual flip page by page. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's on our issues, back issues, every specialty guide's on there.
Well, we would be remiss if we didn't thank you publicly for you have been the man in an ongoing unfortunate situation we've had dealing with the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Affairs. And honestly, without you taking the lead on that and dealing with it, we probably wouldn't be able to be broadcasting right now. So thank you for that. And someone decided to cause trouble for us and made a formal report to the state of Florida, and they had no choice but to open an investigation to check into our suspicious fundraising activities and possible fraudulent use of funds. But obviously, we're able to show that every penny that comes in goes right back out to the artists. And I guess right now the stopgap is that we have to stop using the term Central Florida Performing Artists Relief Fund, because it sounds like it might be a registered charity, which it isn't as of yet. But it's through Rick's constant go back and forth with the state that we're even allowed to be here under. The URL may change next week or the week after, and we may have to change how we're collecting money. But he personally has made it so that we could keep on even while we're under investigation. So thank you, Ray.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I thought maybe what just pushed it through. I think they got so tired of me that they started referring to me as Mr. Claggett on all of their emails. And then it was basically like the last one was like, Mr. Claggett, thank you. Like, just do that and you're fine. So
yeah, stop saying the name of the fund. Yeah.
Yeah. They were great though to deal with. And I understand that, you got to make sure that if people are collecting money that they're doing it, that they're legitimate. And so I get that. And since we can so easily prove that, it was really an easy process, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
And so far we have managed to give a $100 gift to 149 people on our list. We have 38 people still on the wait list who are waiting to be recognized with a gift. So that's why we're continuing to do the showcase. And we couldn't do it without you, Rick. So thank you for being with us. And send me an update after you're off.
The work is not done.
Right, you're at the toe board.
Yeah.
Come on, get back to work. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, guys.